time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Stopette Spray Deodorant. Poof, there goes perspiration. And Finesse, the flowing cream shampoo. Yes, time now for What's My Line? And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in the New York Journal American and papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
On my left, a charming young humorist who stars in his own television show 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, Mr. Steve Allen.
Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you very much. And on my left, one of the lovely ladies of radio and television who starts her own new big production tomorrow at 11 o'clock on another network, Miss Arlene Francis.
And on my left, substituting tonight for Bennett Cerf, the one and only lovable Mr. Peepers, Wally Cox.
John Daly.
Wally, you said that like you believed it. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to some people with some interesting occupations up to test the panel. And Wally Cox, as you know, is new to the panel, so we shall be watching him with great interest. We trust that our guests come off on top, however, and we'll also have a famous guest challenger a bit later to see what the panel can do with him or her. But let's get things rolling now. It's time for the experts to meet our first challenger, so would you sign in, please, ma'am? Eve Witt. Is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs.?
It's Miss.
Miss Witt.
Witt.
Where are you from, Miss Witt?
Plainville, Connecticut.
Plainville, Connecticut. Well, that makes you practically a neighbor.
Yes.
Hmm?
Well,
How do you feel?
fine, thank you.
Good. Want to meet the panel?
Yes, I'd love to.
They're all yours.
Hi, Miss Witt.
Well, Miss Witt.
All right, Miss Witt, you come on over here and sit down next to me, if you will. And I think you very probably know that at this point we get the panel one free guess as to what your line may be, and we always begin those free guesses with Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Well, I think Miss Witt is something athletic, maybe a hockey star.
Mr. Allen.
I think Eve is in the apple business.
Miss Bradford.
I think Miss Witt is a farmerette.
Mr. Cox.
I think she's a wildlife statistician.
No, I'm afraid not. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Miss Witt. At the same time, we'll tell them what her line is. Well, Miss Witt, from here on, everything gets very easy. All you have to do is to keep saying no, and every time you do it, I'll flip some of these.
Fair enough.
All right, Miss Witt is salaried. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes, I do.
Do you deal in services?
Yes.
When you're doing what you're doing, do people observe you?
Yes.
Would what you do have anything to do with either sports or entertainment of any kind?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
Do you also deal in a product of any sort?
That's right.
Is it smaller than a medicine ball? Can it be?
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Can be. I, too, get a sort of a physical message from you.
Why,
I mean, the same sort of thing you had in mind. This area in which Dorothy and I are thinking that is anywhere near right. This is a pretty vague question, but...
I think it gets a medal for being a vague one. We won't try to answer that one, Steve, because I would, in all justice to Miss Witt, if we were to attempt to answer it, to say yes or no, you know.
I see. You do deal with men and women, do you?
Yes, I do.
Is any portion of their anatomies involved at all?
None whatsoever.
No, I don't believe
No?
so.
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Is the product that you deal in a useful product?
Oh, yes.
Is it enjoyable to use?
Yes.
Yes,
Is it-
there are certain I wouldn't want to mislead you. There are instances when it's a lot of fun, and actually it could also be somewhat less than fun, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it used ever indoors?
Yes.
Can it be used outdoors?
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Do you touch this with your hands when you use it, this product?
Yes.
Is it anything that can be used by two people at the same time?
Small conference.
Small people.
Unhappily, no. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cox.
Well, what is it? I think we're all dying to know.
We can only answer questions, Wally, yes or no, so that we can't help.
Oh, isn't there some way you could frame a yes or no question so they... No, I guess not. They don't look willing.
No, we aren't.
Well... services, eh? Well, is this product made of a fabric of some kind?
A fabric of some
Yes.
kind? No. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
You've said that it can be used indoors and out,
Yes.
in the home and in other places.
That's right.
Would it ever be found in an office building, for instance?
Yes.
Is it contained in something, this product?
You mean all the time?
Well, no,
No,
not
I mean, the
necessarily.
only thing I'm trying to get away from, Dorothy, you mean, would it come in a container when you got it, or do you mean is it contained in something in use?
Well, when it's around the house, would it be put into something or kept in something?
You know.
Kept in something.
It would be kept
Like
in
the house,
something.
you mean?
Well, like in a drawer or a bowl or a cabinet or anything at all.
Oh, I think we can presume that it's kept in something.
Well, yes.
Is it solid rather than liquid?
Yes.
Would you say that it would be found in a great many homes, like millions of homes throughout America?
Yes.
You would consider it useful, not just a luxury product.
That's right.
However, there is something pleasing or entertaining about it?
Well, what we have elicited is that there are certain circumstances when one might consider that it is pleasant to use it, consider it somewhat less than pleasurable.
Would you ever carry it around with you?
You mean on the person?
Well, on or near, if you carried it around.
I don't think so,
No.
do you know? That makes it 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Allen.
Does it come into contact with the body at all?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Above the waist?
Yes.
Below the waist?
Yes.
Above the neck?
Yes.
Below the ankles? It's a big thing, whatever it is. Does it touch the skin?
Yes.
Is it something that you would use on yourself?
Yes and no.
You can use it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Would you, if you were using it in the house, would you be more liable to use it in private than instead of a lot of people watching you?
No.
Yes and no. Small
Getting
conference.
no place.
Why don't we start the whole show over again? I don't think we're doing very
We're
well.
not on any track, really.
Yes and no.
Yes and no?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, we've elicited that it is not made of any fabric. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is there any wood involved in this?
Yes.
There is? Yeah, are there any bristles of any kind involved? There are? Is it a brush of some kind?
Yes. That's the product. Now
It's a
all you have to
brush.
do is to tell us what Miss Witt's association with the aforementioned product is.
Well, she sells it?
Sells it, I think we
Demonstrates
sells and demonstrates.
Are
Actually,
you a full of brush lady?
yes. Wonderful, wonderful panel. Well, I must say, Miss Eve, you did right good, and we had a lot of fun. Hope you did too, and thanks for being our guest in What's My Line. All right. right, panel, a very good beginning. Now let's see what you can do with another challenger. Would you sign in? Addie? Addie Ball. Is that right? Where are you from, Mr. Ball?
Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse, New York. Well, got a lot of New York staters here tonight. Would you like to go down and say hello to the panel so they can get to know you a bit?
No.
Hello, Mr. Bull.
Howdy.
All right, Mr. Ball, now if you'll come over here and sit down next to me, why, we'll get to the business in hand. I think you probably know that we got to give them a little break, give them one free guess, you see. They've had a good look at you, and we'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a sports writer.
A sports writer, Mr. Allen.
Notice he had that metal band around his wrist. I think he's the man who started the riot in cell block 11.
Miss Francis.
I think he operates a nightclub.
Mr. Cox.
He works, he works, I don't know how you say it, though. He works in one of those caissons.
Those what?
He works in a caisson under the river.
A sandhog?
Sandhog.
Sandhog, no, I'm
offense.
afraid not. We'll let our viewers have a further look at Mr. Ball. At the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. But the panel's got to dig. All right, Mr. Ball. You know what happens. I flip cards every time you give a no answer. You are all set? Mr. Ball is self-employed. With that, let's begin the general questioning with Steve Allen.
Is there a service of any sort connected with your work, sir?
Yes, sir.
Would I say that this service is beneficial in any way?
Yes, sir.
Am I correct in feeling that you would not perform this service on me?
I don't think so.
Yes, you would be correct. I don't think it might, but I wouldn't think it was possible.
Could you then perform this service on a member of the opposite sex?
Sex. Well, we're going to take the liberty there of presuming that you were speaking also of the male of the species Homo sapiens and give you a no. 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
That'll teach you a lesson about Homo sapiens. Obviously, by your very clever questioning, we are going to come to the animal kingdom in some way, are we?
Yeah.
So that you deal, Mr. Ball, in or with an animal of some kind, is that correct?
That's right.
Is it a domestic animal?
Yes.
Is it an animal that you could have in the house?
No.
No, I don't
There
think...
are houses and houses, you know.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cox.
Yeah, it's a shame you couldn't get him into some size house. Well, that's a pretty big animal, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
Hairy.
Hairy Ball.
Hairy animal?
I think we could say that, yes.
You fellows are being awfully cautious about... I mean, an animal is either hairy or not, you know. I think so.
Now, this is a hairy animal.
Domestic hairy outdoor animal. Well, let's see. Get out of the house, you horse. What if get out of the house? Well, very well then. Is a common domestic animal?
Yes.
I'm afraid when I get near to the thing.
Oh, don't be.
Common domestic animal.
Jump right on it.
Yeah. Well, this is the big divide, you know. Could be a H-O-R-S-E or... Well, is it a horse?
Spelled H-O-S-S. You have got the, what gets worked on, but now you've got to tell us what it is that Mr. Ball does to the H-O-S-S.
I'd rather not.
All right, Mr. Cox passes Miss Kilgallen.
Well, in whatever you do to the horse, do you have occasion to touch it?
Yes.
You do something other than just plain raising them.
Yes.
Do you touch the horse below the knees?
No.
I thought maybe he was a blacksmith.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Allen.
You groom it in any way or anything related to that?
Grooming? No, not in
No.
the sense that we know grooming. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Fences.
Does he TRAIN them in any way?
5 down and 5 to go, Mrs. Cox. We're back.
There's no messing with this fellow. It smells like a demon.
I'm ready to jump.
Well, are you in any way, does your work carry you above the surface of the earth at any time?
No, 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Would you let other people ride your horses or the horses with whom you are associated?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Allen.
Could you take a little bet?
I'm going to give
Horses.
No, this is going to kill you, kids. I'm sorry, but Mr. Ball is a horse dentist. He takes the teeth out. And Mr. Ball, you get the full prize, and our thanks for a lot of fun. We really enjoyed your visit. Thanks for coming to see us. Good to see you. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. Since the panel would recognize our guest on site, we have supplied them, as we always do, with blindfolds. And are the blindfolds all in place, panel? Okay, will you come in, Mystery Challenger, and sign in, please? All right, panel. As you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we get right down to the general questioning, which we will begin with Mr. Cox.
First of all,
I beg your pardon?
that's quite all right. First of all, no fair having it be 2 people.
I'm sorry.
I mean, if it's no people.
You may proceed.
Thanks a
sure
lot.
that no tricks are being played on you.
Okay, I heard 2 waves or gusts of response. Did he come in twice?
No, I think I must explain something
Or
to you,
does
Wally.
he have 2 names?
I must explain something to you. Our guest comes in, you see, and there is always an initial burst of applause, and then as the name becomes clear in the writing, there is another wave of applause.
I see. First is when they think they know, and... Okay, excuse me. Sorry. Well, first of all, who is it? Because I can't see.
That's what we are hoping to learn from you.
Well, that's foolish to ask me because I have... Oh, I get it. Are you in show business or any related business, such as mining or... swimming? Or collecting stamps?
The question is yes.
Well, that narrows it down. Well, you got any ideas, anybody?
Could we hear the guest's voice?
Oh, that's a good idea. I think that well, getting him to say no would be sort of a way to hear his voice, but that's no fun. Oh, it's your turn, somebody.
Are you going to pass, Mr. Cox,
Oh,
Miss
yes.
Kilgallen?
Well, I didn't hear the answer to the first question.
It was yes.
Is our guest a human being?
Yes?
Sounds very human. Are you an actress?
Would you repeat the question?
Are you an actress?
No?
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Allen.
But you are in show business or something of that sort, is that right?
Yes, that's been elicited.
May I be explicit? Are you in show business?
Yes?
You sing?
Yes?
Well, pick up the tempo a little bit. No offense. Noah Webster. Let me see. Do you sing in the popular field?
Yes?
Oh, dear, 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 dear. Are you a recording artist?
Yes?
Have you had a hit record within the last 6 months?
No?
2 down and 8. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Then may I guess that maybe you are not as big in the popular field as you are maybe in another field like the operatic field?
Some said I is and some said I'm not.
Well, would you be considered an opera singer?
Some said I is and some said I'm not.
Oh, I see. Some people don't think you are. Well, then I'm not going to take a chance on guessing anybody. You'd be in terrible trouble.
No, I think...
Have you appeared at the Metropolitan?
Yes?
And have you ever appeared on television?
Yes?
Have you ever appeared with anybody in television that you sang with?
Yes?
Did you ever sing with Lawrence Melchior?
Yes.
Did you cause somewhat of an uproar this year? Yes, and the loudest, the softest sound in the uproar, bing. Are you Helen Traubel?
Helen Traubel is right. Miss Helen Traubel, of so many talents, that now she is starting a whole new fanfare of love and affection from the public. She's in the Copacabana here in New York and is causing as great a sensation there as she used to cause at the Metropolitan when she was at the Met. And we're so proud of you and so thankful because you came and spent a Sunday evening with us.
Oh,
Thank
how
you,
lovely.
Miss Traubel.
Thank you.
And everybody says you is. You are an actress.
Thank you very much, Miss Helen Traubel, and thank you, panel. You were wonderful tonight. We have come to visit us. Now we'll be back in just a moment. I think we all want to say thank you to Wally Cox for a lot of fun in this half hour. And I know also that